William Byron saves gas in every way he can to just hold on and take the win here at the Iowa Speedway, holding off the likes of Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney as he punches his second win of the season and his first win since the Daytona 500 all the way back in February. Let's recap the Iowa Corn 350 and Iowa Speedway. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel today as we are recapping the Iowa Corn powered by Ethanol 350 at the Iowa Speedway. NBC is back on the air. Well, might as well call them USA Network. Just like when we're on Fox, we might as well call them FS1 because that's the only channel we seem to get on unless it's a big race. Quick note before we start this race. Why did NBC rip off Prime's graphics? I mean, I get there's similar people who work for NBC and Prime, but like, did they really have to rip off the graphics? Like, I just feel like that was a little unnecessary, but oh well, what can you do? That is life, I guess, but it's just so strange. I felt like I was watching Prime, and it comes to the graphics there for most of the broadcast. I was like, geez, this is just a ripoff of Prime's broadcast. We might as well have Prime broadcast these races, but oh well, man. Is what it is. It was good to have Lee Diffie back in the booth. Love hearing my man Lee Diffie in the booth. Most people won't because he's not American, but Lee knows what he's talking about, and Lee Diffie, of all people, knows how to create an iconic call, so shout out Lee Diffie. But anyway, we were green for the Iowa Corn 350, and ironically, it was the same two on the front row that finished 1-2 in the race, just the other way around. Chase Briscoe and William Byron led the field to green today, and that was a lot of the front too, but early in stage one, there was an early contender that appeared. And you guys should know, he was number one on the lap averages sheets. If you look at the data, you had a very good feeling this guy was going to be strong. I put him in most of my fantasy teams, not all of them, but Brad Keselowski. That 6 car looked sharp today. That 6 car looked very, 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 very sharp. He was cutting and slicing his way through the field. He drove up to William Byron on multiple occasions, was not able to get around him because of the clean air the 24 had and some of the lap cars ahead, but eventually Keselowski picked the run on the high side, did he get a slide job? He set up the run on the high side of 1 and 2, got underneath the 24 slid up the track, the 6 was clear, and Brad Keselowski didn't take home just 1, but 2 stage victories today. That's very big for this 6 team. If they would have got the win, man, that would have been a huge flip for Brad Keselowski and this 6 team. They could really use a weekend like that. As I mean, the last time Keselowski won a race was Darlington last year in the throwback race. Like, man, BK, he's been needing a good run like this, especially on like a non-super speedway too. Like, shout out to Brad. He was the cream of the crop of the RFK cars. And it honestly makes you think, when they go to Richmond in 2 weeks, Brad could be a real threat. Brad could be a real threat for that victory. But, oh well. I mean, it was just a great day in Iowa, and I mean, especially a great day for Brad Keselowski. Chase Briscoe, I'm just seeing this on NASCAR's X-Speed. He surpassed his career high in laps led in a single season. So, good job, Chase Briscoe. But in stage 2, this is where things started to spice up a little bit. Some guys were pitting early, some guys were pitting later. This definitely had a chain reaction on what happened later in the race, but as that pit cycle was happening, Shane Van Gisbergen hit the outside wall, just lost the rear tires, and backed his Red Bull Chevrolet into the fence. And then it was restart pandemonium. I don't even know what to say. The 9 and the 5 got into each other on the next restarts. There was a wreck for Ty Dillon that I remember seeing too. Kyle Larson got into it with a lot of people today. Him and Elliott got into it on multiple occasions. Him and Christopher Bell hit. But one thing that was really prevalent on these restarts today were guys who went to... How do I say this? A lot of guys could not hold it on the bottom of the track. And usually, especially if someone was on the outside of them, it was almost like all the air would just get taken away whenever somebody was on the outside of them. Because the inside car would always seem to wiggle, and then it would clip the quarter panel of the cars to the outside of them. That happened on multiple occasions. It happened with Todd Gilliland and Ty Dillon. Chase Briscoe when he split up and hit Reddick and Bell. Like, it was not a normal occurrence today. Brad Keselowski did win stage 2 as well. I already mentioned that, but we're getting into the restart pandemonium that happened. Denny Hamlin got into a spin later in the race too. I mean, the guys were 4 wide entering turn 3. What do you expect? So it was, who was it on the inside? I believe it was Chastain on the inside, Hamlin above him, and then it was Allmendinger and... Who was that? McDowell? I think that's McDowell, yeah. This time it was the car on the inside that spun, because Hamlin got loose above Chastain and underneath the 16, and the rear end just stepped out underneath the Bob's Discount Furniture 11 car, and yeah, that was really that. Yeah, Larson had a lot of close incidents today, and Briscoe got into Eric Jones too. Briscoe did not have a great day when it comes to trying to get around people. I mean, he had the incident with the 45 and the 20. He clipped the 43 on the exit of turn 4. Was definitely not the greatest day for Briscoe. There's Larson getting into it with Bell. Like, Larson just couldn't catch a break today, it felt like. But, man, I can't... Between stage 2 and stage 3, like, early in stage 3, God, there must have been, like, 10 cautions just like bam, 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 bam. It was so quick and so rapid. And, yeah, Larson was pretty fired up on the radio, too, especially after that Chris Bell contact. He's like, God damn it, I give these guys so much goddamn room, and then they race me like this, and I don't know. It was... The whole thing's just a little wild, and I mean... He got into... Like, Larson had a chain reaction effect happen in front of him after his pit stop, too, when the 10 of Ty Dillon checked up, and Larson was just right there in front of him and couldn't get on the brakes in time, but... Yeah, it was just a rough day for the 5 team. I mean, I had him on fantasy this week. I was a rough go trying to keep Larson under control, but yeah, then it all started to cycle out because some guys pitted on cautions before, some guys pitted on cautions in the middle, some guys pitted on cautions at the end, and it all left us with this chain reaction of the 24 being out front, the 19 was behind him, the 60 of Priest was a contender late on as well, Keselowski, Bowman, I'm trying to think, Blaney worked his way up, he was the one who wanted to pit, was one of the ones who pitted on his later cautions, but Byron pitted with like 130 to go or something ridiculous like that. I don't know how long a fuel run is at Iowa, but all those cautions worked a perfect treat for William Byron to just save enough gas, and he must have had a good enough car, because he was putting time down on those final 15 laps on Briscoe and Keselowski while saving fuel while those guys are trying to push to the end. Like, Blaney was all out, all gas, no brakes. I think if Blaney was able to get up close to those guys, I think Blaney wins this race no problem. But William Byron outlasts the fuel tank, holds everybody off behind him, and William Byron gets his 2nd win of the year, his first since the Daytona 500. That is big for the 24 team to get momentum back on your side into the playoffs. The 24 is pretty famously known for going into summer slumps pretty well every season he's been competitive. It's just like, the 24 will rack up like 2 or 3 wins in the springtime, then go completely extinct, and then when the playoffs come around, oh, he gets a couple wins and he's in the championship 4, so... I don't even know, man. The 24, they're just a hard bunch to predict. I mean, you can predict that much about them, but like... You never know what they could do, because they could win every week, but they could also lose every week. And that's just how I feel about William Byron, this 24 team, man. They have a lot of highs, but they also have some very low lows. I'm sure that'll help William Byron out in the regular season championship, but yeah, let's talk your finishing results. Man, that's pretty cool too. Byron's won here in Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks. I'm just realizing that now. That's actually a pretty damn cool stat. But anyway, let's talk your finishing results here at the Iowa Speedway. Well, looking at your finishing results after Iowa, William Byron gets the win. Good result for the 24 team. He had a great car all day long. So shout out to Rudy Fugle, the 24 team, everybody on box with William Byron. They had a good car. They capitalized on it. They brought home the win for Hendrick Motorsports. Good for them. Chase Briscoe, P2. Up and down day for Briscoe. He got cycled back to the back, then worked his way up, then got cycled back and up and down and up and down. But at the end of the day, he finished second. So good for Briscoe. Keselowski, really good day for him as well. I mean, for Brad K, it's pretty much win or bust for the 6 team at this point. I watched this race at a friend of mine's place, and we talked about this. RFK could if they would have won today, they could genuinely have swept the whole month of August. You think about it, Keselowski could have won today. I honestly thought Priest could have been a really good contender today. Chris Buescher could very well go win Watkins Glen. Ryan Priest is a sneaky road racer. He could probably sneak a top 10 in Watkins Glen. Let's look at where else. Friggin' Richmond. Keselowski, Buescher, or Priest could win that. And Keselowski and Buescher could win Daytona. Like, remember 2 years ago when Buescher just randomly won 3 races in a row in August for no reason? That's honestly how I feel about RFK at the moment, but Keselowski definitely showed some speed at the moment. A lot of speed out of the blue ovals of Ford, so good for them. Ryan Blaney, P4. Yeah, if Ryan Blaney had more laps, he would 110% pass the 24 team. Whether or not Byron had the fuel or not, Blaney was just something else in those final few laps, man. On these, like, half-mile to mile-style tracks, the 12 team is just absolutely phenomenal. Like, Ryan Blaney and Jeremy Bullins. No, wait, no, that's Keselowski's crew chief. Jonathan Hassler, that's Blaney's crew chief. Like, they just know what they're doing with this setup, so shout out Blaney, man. They know how to get things done on these style of tracks. Ryan Priest, P5. Ryan Priest was my sneaker pick to win the race, and a P5 shows the effort the 60 teams putting in. I don't know how Bubba Wallace ended up P6. They got into the wall at one point. I think John Hunter Nemechek got into them, something along those lines, and I don't know how they rebounded for 6, but good for them. Alex Bowman, P7. Good result for the 48. He's just got to keep worrying about the playoff bubble. He's got to keep working however he can to stay above that cut line. If they get 3 new winners in these next 3 races, it's not looking too good for the 48 team. If you think about it, Watkins Glen, SVG could make a mistake. It could hand the win to Michael McDowell or to a Chris Buescher, his playoff rival. Maybe Austin Dillon somehow goes and wins Richmond again. Maybe friggin' Brad Keselowski wins Daytona. Like, there's some oddballs in the mix, so you definitely got to keep fighting for every chance, and you get to get a win if you're Alex Bowman. Excuse me. Carson Hocevar, P8. Not a bad result for the 77 team, considering he spun at the end of stage 2. Not a bad result for the 77. Joey Logano, P9. Not a bad result for the 22 team. Like I say, the blue ovals were strong today. Anybody related to Ford had a decent result today, so good job to them. Carson Hocevar, already talked about him. Austin Dillon, P10. I thought Austin Dillon would be a good sneaker pick for today's race, too, especially seeing the practice lap average times and everything there. I honestly had pretty decent faith in Austin Dillon, and that's rare for Austin Dillon, so fair play to him. Chastain, I picked him because he was so strong in the Xfinity race and didn't show a lot of speed early on, but rebounded for a P11. Austin Cindric, he was my double points on GridRival Fantasy today. Cindric was just lightning quick in practice and qualifying, and yeah, he showed it within the race. We led a lot of laps. He did a good job. If strategy works out a little better for him, I think he gets a top 5 finish today. Josh Berry, not a bad result for the 21 as well. They need some good momentum, some results keep going their way before the playoffs, so good for the 21 team. Chase Elliott, P14, another top 20 result for the 9. John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones, P15, P16. I don't know why they were talking about John Hunter Nemechek for the win there at one point. God knows how that would have happened. Christopher Bell, P17. Man, the 20 teams just look so off since those 3 wins at the beginning of the year. I don't know what's happened to Bell, but yeah, God knows. At least people actually rate Christopher Bell now, but like, you're starting to lose a little bit of rating in my book now, Christopher, and I've been a real big supporter of yours. AJ Allmendinger, P18, not a bad result for Colleague. Tyler Reddick, he was just off the whole day. The 45 team just missed the setup. You could argue that they looked like the worst 23-11 car today, and Riley Herbst drives for 23-11. So that's saying something. Kyle Busch, P20. He was up in the top 5 at one point at the end of stage 2, and he went a lap down at the end of stage 1. So, like, that says a lot about the Iowa Corn 350, in my opinion. It was a crew chief race as well as a track position race where you could make passes, but it wasn't easy. Ty Gibbs, P21, was never really a contender. Chris Buescher never really got any screen time. Justin Haley he's getting better runs. I'll give Justin Haley some credit. He's running better from time to time. He's just finishing these races is what's going to matter for this 17. Denny Hamlin, P24. Not a great day for Denny Hamlin. Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson. Not a great day for the 5, but ran well most of the day. Just focus on that part and take that into the Glen next week. Noah Gragson, Riley Herbst, Dane Van Gisbergen, and Cody Ware, who wrecked Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Man, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was so off today. What happened to the 47? He got a top 5 here. Oh, excuse me. He got a top 5 here last year. What happened to Stenhouse today? He was nowhere compared to what we expected. Todd Gilliland, Ty Dillon, Zane Smith. These are all the people who got wrecked. And Joey Gase, who was just absolutely slow as shit. I seen Joey Gase get lapped twice in 5 laps. Like, I was like, man, just park it and go home at that point. Like, honest to God. Huge shout out to whoever screenshotted this on Twitter. But, we'll screenshotted it. We'll took a picture of the screen and put it on Twitter. But here's how things stand. Hamlin, Larson, Bell, Van Gisbergen, Byron, Elliott, Blaney, Briscoe, Bubba, Logano, Chastain, Cindric, and Berry all currently locked into the playoffs. Tyler Reddick, plus 122. Still looking pretty damn good. Alex Bowman, plus 63. All Bowman's got to worry about is pretty much no 2 new winners and the next 2 tracks, the next 3 races. That's very much a possibility, so you still got to fight if you're the 48 team. But, yeah, things are somewhat okay for Alex Bowman. I'm not willing to say okay, but there's definitely going to be a huge weight off their shoulders if there's no new winners after Daytona. Chris Buescher, man, he's got to fight for every win he can get. I mean, Preece, if you're not circling Richmond, I don't know what you're circling for Ryan Preece, because we know how super speedways end for the 60 team. Well, for this guy in particular. I love Ryan Preece, but man, I just hate to see my man go to super speedways, especially in a must-win situation. Just going to a super speedway itself is never a good thing for Ryan Preece. Pretty much from Preece down, like Kyle Busch is must-win. Kyle Busch could win Daytona. Ty Gibbs, probably Watkins Glen or Richmond. I don't see him winning Daytona. AJ Allmendinger, probably Watkins Glen, but like, you gotta beat that guy to win Watkins Glen. So, gonna be tough, but I mean, for everybody else, it's win or bust to get into the playoffs. These are the 13 drivers in. I don't know who's leading the regular season championship. I kind of want to see that. NASCAR points. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, typing like a dumbass. What if NASCAR used Mario Kart points? Then probably friggin' Carson Hocevar would win championship. Is this the updated regular season battle? I don't friggin' know. No friggin'. Where the hell is it? So, damn, where is that audio coming from? God damn. Can somebody please tell me what the regular season point standings look like? Okay, there we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So Byron is now 18 points ahead of Chase Elliott. 45 back to Kyle Larson and 51 back to Denny Hamlin. So pretty much, this is going to be Byron or Elliott for the regular season title, unless they choke it away in the next couple races. But I don't know. Time will tell, but yeah, where do we even go from here? Do we just, yeah, I guess we talk driver of the day and put this on the Skylar scale and we hop on out of here. Well, guys, in terms of driver of the day, I think, honestly, a fair pick for this is probably going to be Brad Keselowski. I mean, I probably would have gave it to Byron if he didn't win the race, but in terms of somebody who put the full race together and got the most out of what they're driving and doing what they can with their car, it's Brad Keselowski. A P3 for RFK Racing, like, we're not used to seeing that out of Keselowski since he's become a team owner, so I'm glad Keselowski got a good run in. I'm glad the 6th team got a good run in. That can definitely help be a momentum builder for these next 3 races before we reach the cutoff line for the playoff. Watkins Glen, Richmond, and Daytona, and then with playoff start time at Darlington at the end of the month. So we'll see, man. Oh my god, I keep burping, but we will see. We will definitely see. I don't know, man. I got Brad Keselowski winning my driver of the day. Let's put this race on the Skylar scale, shall we? Well, for Iowa on the Skylar scale, where am I going to rank this race? I think a 70% is fair. I mean, it wasn't an amazing race. It had some fun moments. It had some really dumb moments. So pretty much everything modern NASCAR had was pretty much presented in this race. Can't be too mad about it. That's just how we went racing today. I mean, some things were good, some things were bad, and I think a 70% is a more than fair score. I mean, it was really hard to pass, like in clean air. Like it wasn't that hard, but it was difficult. Like you pretty much had to pull a slider if you wanted to pull an overtake on track or a bump and run. At least you can bump and run in these cars now, because in the beginning of this next-gen era, it was you couldn't even do that. Like, it was bad. The short track racing with these cars in the beginning was awful, but glad it's come along, glad it's gotten better, and yeah, I think a 70% on the Skylar scale is more than fair for Iowa. Guys, that is where we're going to wrap up this video, though. Make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and share with those notifications turned on. Sam is future upload here on the channel, guys. Don't forget, join the Patreon and the Twitch. Links are in the description down below. I will catch you guys next time around, at this time next week, when we'll head to Watkins Glen for the, I don't know, the Go Bowling at the Glen 355, or that, whatever the hell it's called. But guys, quick update. I go for knee surgery on Friday. So, if I don't seem in the greatest mood this time next week, just, you know why. You understand why. So just be aware. I'm probably not going to be feeling the greatest after Watkins Glen, but we're gonna get better. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna see me at New Hampshire. Everything's gonna be okay. I promise. Until next time, guys, take care and peace.